O'Shea Duke Jackson. Back at it again. Oh. Welcome to episode 299. This is the earliest I've ever actually introduced a pod. Welcome to episode 299 of the Alpha Beat Podcast with Clint Nelson. I'm your host, Clint Nelson. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, most important ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to suck some titties. Yeah. Recording this on September 7th at 5:46 p.m. Eastern, 2024 for the archives. Yeah. This is heavy obsession to go to these. You know, there was just a football game in Brazil. And Darius Slay said the team in the NFL warned, like, hey, don't leave your hotel. It's dangerous out here. And, you know, it's a real thing. Because all I'm coming across now is there was this guy who went to Brazil, a married guy. Apparently his net worth was like $14 million. Went to Brazil and security cameras kind of caught. He was with a few ladies. Definitely getting a little touchy on the Fannie Mae, as they say. Well, he's no more Sally Mae. He's gonna have to worry about. Never understood that term. We have terms for like butts, like knockers. Like people are all about Remy Ma. Pretty fire rap in the song "Out of Control," which was basically just a Spice Rum infomercial. And people are focused on the fact that Fat Joe was shirtless. And Remy Ma, apparently, first line was, yep, I shot that bitch over a band. Imagine if I don't like you, what I would do to you. It's like, I mean, I guess you didn't like her that much either because, you know, you shot her, you know. Just imagine if I don't like a bitch. And it's like, I think when you shoot someone, you've kind of reached that point where you don't like them. Rest in peace, Papoose. Not that he's dead, but man's going through it. You know, that whole thing where she left him for a struggle battle rapper. And, yeah, that would hurt, you know. Imagine reaching a certain pinnacle, a certain level, a certain status. And then they leave you for someone who's below you. That hurts more than when someone leaves for someone on your level or more. Because you can't even be like, you know, it was just I wanted more out of life. It's literally like, actually, I wanted less. And more with you is actually less. I don't know about Papoose, but that's like kind of this weird thing, you know. And that's the thing. There's this whole online landscape of these, like men going their own way, these dynamics of the reality of Western culture, of Western women and passport bros, was just kind of like where all these crimes, people are going over to Brazil, they're going over to like Colombia, even Japan to a certain extent. And guys are going over there, and some are having great experiences. They go over there, and as a foreigner, you're kind of treated as royalty, you know? Because typically, if you're an outsider coming in, you typically have money, you know? So, entering in, you typically have a head start. But also, it's just, people always are, it's weird. Like, as a foreigner in other cultures, we as Americans are really looked as, like, exotic creatures. Like, we're from this land of, you know, what is it like in America? Like, it's like this whole different world. Like, as crazy as it is like, we learn history, we learn about, well, we're supposed to, now with the American education system now, but you're supposed to learn about, you know, how other cultures work, other countries, the history of at least the allies and the Axis powers. Now, how much that you retain, I don't know. The only thing I remember from elementary, middle school social studies, was I did a Run DMC group project where I did most of the work. And I was not one of those in the group project that you would want doing all the work. It's weird when you do all the work and they have the audacity to be like, hey, man, why did we only get 78? It's like, I don't know. How come you didn't put 78 seconds of fucking effort into this group project? All right. So fuck off. I didn't know how to use PowerPoint that well, I used to use those bold, like thinking like, ooh, look at me, I'm using clip art. I'm a sexy motherfucker. Whose house? Then you grow up and learn about Kamora Lee Simmons and Rev Run having a reality show, and you realize, like, damn, she's kind of reflective of this Western culture we're talking about. But yeah, there's this whole landscape of passport bros, of being a foreigner. Like, sure, there's a lot of benefits. Like, you're basically like, if you were semi-attractive here, you go to these other countries, like, you are automatically elevated like a couple belts above, Because American men, I think, from foreign countries, we are considered more like staturized. A lot of countries, like, the average height is typically shorter. And I'm not stereotyping. It's just what it is. Like, you go China, Japan, specifically countries like those, it's typically the average height is shorter. You're either 5'7" or Yao Ming, There's not much in between, it seems. It's like, notice, like, when we have, like, bench warmer, and I say this respectfully, because anyone in the NBA respected, but you can have, like, the 330th best player in the NBA. They go to China, and they are just they are treated better than our superstars here because of our standard, how conceited, how ungrateful we are. We're having debates every day about how is LeBron James, is he an all-time great? Is he even top 10? Bro, we got fucking Stephon Marbury going over there, a little bit past his prime, and the dude is like how LeBron James should be treated in America. Nothing but love, nothing but respect, not this everyday talk about, oh, LeBron James, he missed a free throw in the last 10 seconds. Should he just retire? We have these conversations, this overcritical culture. And I think when we go over to other countries, it's nice to be told as Americans how, it sounds pretty self-centered, but like how great we are or how much we are. And I think that's the thing. Like, what you notice between our culture and other cultures, and this has come from someone who's never traveled, so this is my ignorant point of view based off what the internet tells me. We are just ungrateful people. We are ungrateful to our own in America. We are ungrateful to those nearby. While in Japan, like, they idolize sports. Like, really think about it. Like, I haven't watched Korean baseball or the World Cup in a long time. I can't remember last time I see a clip or highlight of fans just booing their team, no matter how good or bad they're playing. Now you get into soccer in certain countries. That's a whole different thing, Soccer is a whole different thing. But I'm just saying there's certain cultures where we could be revered as possibly suckers, but you go there, you are going to have a hard time not contracting something, from a lady. It is what it is. You just got to hope it's a lady. And don't be like these guys these teenagers that are being seduced by mid-30-year-old trans and being lied to. Now, there's these stories, like one in Michigan and one in Chicago that happened the past few months where 17 and 18-year-old, they're basically being tried for murder. Well, because they didn't murder the people, like, it's not. But one got a motel, one invited to their house or their apartment. And it wasn't until they got there that they found out as in the act, not like they got to the house and then like they disclosed the information, like they were doing X, Y, and Z, and that's how they found out. And the fear of having your name spread with potential embarrassment or negativity, when you're that young, you're going to react impulsively. Doesn't rationalize, obviously, murdering someone, but, the main thing is just disclose certain information to people. Because you do not know how people are going to react to things. But yeah, that's the dangers we can go, because this dude, going back to the original story 8 minutes ago, this married man whose white was wife, not sure why that part's important, but in the video, there's obviously a race aspect of it. This man went to other countries to, experience that some Brazilian butt lift. He was trying to get some butts lifted, even though, honestly, the ladies he was with didn't seem like it would be that much different. But not shaming. I mean, she's the one that killed the guy, not me. But yeah, apparently this lady was called the Cinderella Night Killer or something like that, because she's done this before. And what people don't realize is the justice system in these other countries aren't the same as here. And you commit multiple crimes there to citizens, but really, like, it's like people say, unless it's to like a real high-ranking official, they get charged, released. Like, it's a whole different thing. Moral of all that is, it's why traveling's overrated. Stay home. As annoying as it could probably be as you guys out there having to deal with ladies that reject you, make you feel like you ain't shit. I mean, at least they're verbally telling you, not cyanide poisoning your ass, It's not perfect what we have here. It's not perfect. It's like these dating apps, they say. It's like the top 10% of guys get 90% of the matches. Like, if you are on these apps, you are either getting 2 or 3 matches in maybe 3 months, or you're getting hundreds a week. Like, there's really no middle ground. It's really, to be honest, it's a lot of girls fighting for a couple guys, even if she's with you for the time being. Like, not saying she's seeking out, and this isn't me being negative. This is just kind of how a lot of these things work, There's a few, it's fewer and fewer as time goes on, where it's genuine women that fall in love with someone and they're committed to that person, and as long as you both do each other right, literally, you will, typically you work through a lot of things, and you don't have to be like Judge Mathis. It's just pretty sad what's going on with him. I do feel bad for what's going on. 39 years, but he said it himself, like, you neglect your partner, you spend more time away over the course of a long time. It's really hard to just, when someone says, I'm tired of this, it's hard to make up for 20 years, 30 years of putting someone else before them and trying to make it up in a week. The longer something has gone on, the harder it is to repair it in a short amount of time. So, it's an imperfect culture we have here. It's the American dating culture. We have these shows that is more about embarrassing people's prospects of how they are in the dating market than it is actually being informative of actually. Like, there's not really, there is constructive criticism at times if done right. But really, when you watch these Pop the Balloon shows, these Jubilees, the cuts, where it's one guy, then they're doing the speed dating, pressing the button. It's just a speed on who can not pick you. The goal isn't really about finding individuals that match. It's about trying to unmatch as many people as possible and trying to embarrass people. And the issue is when you give ugly people power in dating. That's what these shows do. They give average to below average market status in the dating. And I'm going to sound like a dick when I say this, because I'm not even saying I'm a high, I'm not saying if you were to put me on the dating market, I'm going to have the world at my feet. But I also don't feel like I would be the bottom of the barrel if I really applied myself either. So I think I'm fair to say this. I know my place in the world. All right. I don't try to act like every girl is swooning for me. But I also know there's not no girls that would ever swoon for me, I've worked hard for these shoulders. And I could barely carry my big head around. My girlfriend actually said, no joke, she actually said, the thing you wear on your head to protect your hair, it makes your head look bigger. And I'm like, thanks. But you know what? If I were to go on a date and a girl really, really liked me and she was just trying to get something out of me, she wouldn't say that. She'd be like, oh my God, you're so different, You gotta be careful with you're unique guy. You're unlike any guy I've ever been around. Really? Never been around a guy that looks down on you? I feel like that's happened a lot. Hopefully I'm looking down on you for the right reasons. Wink, wink. But no, I really be talking wild. If people didn't know me, they'd be like, does your girlfriend like these things you say? It's like, not really. But, entertainment's entertainment, and it's going to pay off one day. But, yeah, that's the thing, man. And I did not know what I was going to talk about, but I guess this episode is going to be about culture of dating in America. But it's an obvious thing, right? Where you have when you give average to below average people in the dating market a platform to be in charge of all the rejection or neglect they have felt from dating for the longest time, they are gonna 98% of the time try to use that anger or use that resentment and just be mean to people for no reason. That's not really what dating is supposed to be about. That's not really what trying to find someone. It's not about your job. If someone's not right for you, unless they ask or they are rude to you for some reason, it's not your job to be like, you know what? Maybe if you did this about yourself and that about yourself, maybe a girl would take you serious. It's not really your job to do all that, Or vice versa. It's not a guy's job just to be like, maybe if you dressed like you respected yourself, I would take you serious, It's like, damn, she was just asking, where would you like to go eat? But, but dudes do have this sense. I will say this, and I know I'm flip-flopping this fence here, but, I'm just trying to get you to flip-flop later, so I'm trying to fuck your mind up. But, as Drake would say, damn it, I forgot what Drake would say. Damn, I'm trying to remember that line in that one song, but I can't think of the one line in the one song. But yeah, it's dudes have this sense of feeling like the more quote-unquote dominant they talk, that girls take them serious, right? You have a lot of these guys out here that they haven't put the work on themselves to actually be what they're about. They're not really comfortable. They let the world decide what they wear. They let the world decide what they think about themselves. They let the world and social media, they let people talk about how they feel about themselves based off things they have succeeded or not succeeded or have or don't have. Like, if you are a guy that has let the world dictate how valuable you are because of how much money you make, there's value to making money. There is an empowerment to having money. But if you base your whole value and identity based off that, then you are honestly weaker than someone. In my point of view, you are weaker than someone who doesn't make their grave a living, but they have a great respect for themselves. Who doesn't let money dictate how valuable they are in that moment. Because one month you could have 3 times more in your account than another. You're still the same person. You're still the person with the same values. You're still the same person that does what you need to do, There's fluctuations, If you gain a few pounds, it doesn't mean that you completely have lost your grip on life. It's the fluctuations of life. You're still you. You're still in control of bettering it. You just got to acknowledge it and improve it, right? And that's the thing. There's a lot of these dudes out here, and you can sense it. There's a lot of guys out here that are finessing girls with their quote-unquote dominance when they can't even dominate their laundromat, They can't even carry their own bags, They can't even take their own trash out without, the girl helping them. They can't even take the trash out without borrowing the girl's car, And there's no shame in that, But you talking and without the cachet, without the believability, if you can't sell me that you're in charge of yourself, don't sit here and be talking brash about how I'm a man in this world, You do as I say. It's like, what if she tells you no? Honestly, if the girls were just to tell some of these guys no, these guys wouldn't know what to do with themselves. But there are girls who, they like a guy, but they know he's got fragile ego. They know that, I think a lot of girls know these days that men's egos can be bruised very easily. And a woman that cares about her man, it's like sometimes they massage it too much to where a man now feels so good about themselves that they could talk or treat them any type of way. And then a woman can kind of sense that, and they kind of lose respect for the fact that you, like, I have sat here and protected your ego for the longest time, And there is some, you don't want to be someone that tears down your man's ego all the time, that tries to, always bring your man down to earth. Let your man feel empowered if he's doing some shit that's good, Don't try to always tear that down, because then no one's going to want to be around that if you're always trying to bring me down. But at the same time, you don't want to let it get too far where now this guy completely just thinks that, oh, this is my bitch, and that's where these guys need checks and balances. These dudes get exposed, and this is why you get guys that beat the shit out of girls. Gotta be honest, like seeing the story of the Empire guy. I think his name is Bashir. In the show, his name was Akeem, but his real name is Bashir. Apparently, he does OnlyFans now. Not just with the ladies. But this man's been spiraling out of control, right? Some people are saying Diddy's connection to him, introducing him to the Hollywood, to the parties, kind of fucked him up a little bit. Maybe so. But when you in the affidavit or the document, the police report, this man reportedly hit his woman over 100 times. Can I just say, if you hit a woman 100 times, I'm not even going to finish that sentence because that sounds terrible, because I'm glad that she's alive. I'm sorry that she has to deal with that trauma, but if you hit someone 100 times and they're still alive, you punch like a bitch. Can I just say that? To hit someone 100 times, a human being 100 times, and it's not with protected gloves, it's not a professional, and especially someone, a female who is weaker than you physically, like, that is the definition of a man who was empowered for too long, felt too much in control, can't control when a woman is just like, no. And that is the definition of a guy who can't handle rejection of any type. There's a lot of fragile egos out here. And these fragile egos need to be encouraged by going to other countries, be told how great they are by other women. Now, at the same time, as I keep going back and forth, if you're always being told in America you ain't shit, or there's no desire for you, or you have to work exponentially harder and accept things from women because of societal standards nowadays, when you can get less stress, a woman that loves you for you, and it's not even about power dynamic, you just actually want to be with someone that treats you like a person and not just as a stepping stone to something more. If you're realistic with how you view yourself or how women may really view you, then that's where I empathize with guys that feel like they got to travel somewhere else to find the woman they want when we got the pick of the riches out here. We always say America's a melting pot. You would think it'd be easier than ever to find someone. The problem is when you have a melting pot, you got too many contrasting thoughts and cultures. Cultures divide. People pick and choose things from different cultures, and there's no secrets. There's no syncrasy, if that's the word. There's no there's no syncrasy. I don't know if that's, you guys know what I'm trying to say, of people that think alike, and it's harder to actually get down to what people's values are. Look at me spitting game out here, you know. I think our values, like if you go to a predominantly Muslim, let's just say, community, you pretty much know the expectations. You know what you're getting into. So, like, you enter it, you pretty much know, like, you don't really have to ask them in question what the expectations. Like, hey, this is what we believe in. You already know coming in. When you get someone in America that's not religious, but they want traditional values, but they want a woman with a big caboose, but not for anyone else. A woman that's flirty, but loving, a great mother, but can back that ass up, but can also, you know, dress respectfully, you know. You know, it's a lot of contrasting expectations, you know. It's like you want a guy that's buttoned up, but it's got great forearms. He's masculine. He's driven, but he dedicates all of his time to his family. But he has a business, but he also, you know, spends 5 date nights a week with me, but he spends 80 hours, you know. It's like there's a give and take with things. And the problem is the issues, I think, melting pot cultures like America we have run into is that we feel like we've got to fill all these boxes from every type of culture, from every type of expectation, from people from all different backgrounds. And it's just an impossible thing. And what we've got to start doing is looking at ourselves, understanding what matters to us. And when we start dating, so we don't run into these issues, you actually know what you stand for. You actually know what matters to you. You actually know what you don't care to deal with. And you can identify those things early on, so we're not wasting our time. So you don't have marriages at an all-time high, cheating. So you don't have infidelity. So you don't have people just staying for no reason, for staying when they know it's over. And, you know, this is kind of a random side tangent, but like this Rachel Lindsay girl, she used to be on The Bachelorette. I didn't even know that. I was kind of aware because I watched a podcast with her and Van Lathan called High Learning. So, you know, I haven't watched in a while, but, you know, I enjoyed it, you know. I like her voice, you know. I respect her views on stuff. But she apparently divorced. Her and her husband, they met on The Bachelorette, you know. They were together for 4 or 5 years. They divorced like 6 or 8 months ago. Apparently, he's asking for spousal support. And And the man apparently in the filings, he needs $10,000 a month because he only makes $16,000 a year as a chiropractor. You're telling me as a chiropractor in California, you only make $16,000 a year? If you wear a scrub, you're making more than $16,000 a year. There's pictures of this guy where, like, I'm typically, look, I think a lot of this spousal support stuff is stupid. I'm not a big fan of it. I understand it, though, when you've been married for a long time, someone quit their livelihood for you and became a stay-at-home mom, or they switched jobs, a lesser paying job to be more close. Like, understand you're together 15, 20 years. There's things that, real sacrifices that had to be made, right? And no one should go from a divorce if it was, if it was mutual, genuinely. No one should go from a divorce completely just dead broke, But at the same time, and people are cheering because it's a guy getting in return. And I get it. I don't like it when women do it to men. But this guy's a bum. This Brian guy is a bum. Like, to me, personally, this is just me as a guy. I have too much pride for that shit. I would not, if I were to divorce someone and I had the opportunity to take them to the cleaners, take half their money, I genuinely would not do it. Would they take me to the cleaners? Probably, Because I think even when you don't, let's say you enter a marriage, right? In most cases, like, in most genuine cases, people don't enter the marriage thinking divorce. People don't think, like, if we were to get divorced, I would just take half this person. I don't think for most genuine people that's really how it goes. But when you go through a tumultuous marriage or divorce, you get these lawyers involved, legal fees and stuff like that. There's a lot of, like, hey, like, the realities of life after divorce are not going to be great. You got to do things to make sure you have a living, The absurdity of I need $200,000 a month for a massage, or like, literally there was a divorce case with someone where she needed $10,000 a month for plastic surgery. I forgot whose marriage or whatever it was, but that was real. But yeah, I don't know, man. It just I think the dating culture, as a man who is not dating, because I may happily, with my woman that I love and care for, you just see it from the outside, and it just looks more unappealing than ever. And that's never should be why you stay with someone. So that's not. But I'm just saying, like, it does make me thankful that I and guys who are with a woman they love and genuine, that it does make you thankful. Like, man, you know what? I'm glad I don't have to deal with this on the simplest of level. I'm glad I don't have to meet someone on an app. I'm glad I'm not desperate to meet a woman, because it's like when you meet someone naturally, like when you actually, it is different though. Like, I do notice, like, with a woman that I have met naturally in my life, meaning in person, you have a natural connection. There's a break in the ice. There's you just talk normal, and that's how you get to know someone. You're not trying to impress them. You're not trying to text them and be flirty to stand out from 12 other guys in the DMs. Like, you're not just treated like a number. You're not just treated of convenience. Like, you at least get that interpersonal connection to stimulate a woman. You have a real chance, first and foremost. And you don't really have to play by these internet games when it's real life, I think internet games will get you exactly the result of what internet will get you. You'll end up like Nikocado Avocado, where you get rewarded by doing certain things, and then next thing you know, you're on the verge of dying because you're 300, 400 pounds. And apparently now the dude lost 250 pounds in 4 months. I have two theories. One, I don't believe it was over 4 months. But secondly, it may be AI. Third, the dude has some crazy liposuction. There's no way in 4 months you go from where he was at to being like that skinny. That's just not humanly possible. Maybe I'm getting the dates wrong. Maybe it wasn't 4 months. But 250 pounds in 4 months, bro? No, it's not happening. There's something odd about this. There had to be surgery. Because he would have so much loose skin. Like, the thing that people don't realize, like, with weight loss, as a non-weight loss dietary expert, the issue is when, like, because I can speak for myself. Like, I've had up and down fluctuations over my life. Even at this point, even when you're years of just being in pretty consistent, okay shape, like, there's just certain parts of your body that you do just kind of, I mean, you could diet better. You could always work out to improve it. But you're going to have a little excess fat in certain places. Not the biggest deal in the world. Like, more than comfortable with it. But there are things that you do have to, luckily, but when you reach that certain level of obesity, it is damn near impossible to lose all of that. Like, you're going to have surgery removed if it matters that much to you. You could lose weight. You could get down to the weight, but you're going to have excess fat in certain places for 99% of people. It just is what it is. But, yeah. It's interesting, I guess. It really doesn't feel like it's September. It really doesn't feel like that fall football feeling yet. Like college football, like it's all going on today. NFL's going to be all day tomorrow. But yet it doesn't really feel like it, you know? It doesn't really feel like it's like it's not that same like butterflies. Like, man, it's like, you know, that time of year. It's just like everything's just kind of you know? Everything just kind of blends together. To the point of like dates are not really separated. Like, you have to be reminded, like, tomorrow's the 8th. But yeah, speaking of dates, never had dates the fruit. Dates. I feel like since dates is probably like a French fruit, I feel like it said like dates. Like sautés, but dates. Dates. Yeah. I don't think I would ever be a passport bro. Might not even get a passport. I do if I want to actually travel anywhere with the lady. But you know, that's all part. You know. It was funny because I was watching Kill Tony last night. Madison Square Garden, like, big show. And it's weird because you're watching it and you're like, you know, typically these shows when they're live, like, they're going to be clunky. Like, there's going to be droughts and stuff. Like, it was the most, like, perfect show you could put together for what the show format is. You had the best combination of legend comics, of people that went up there who were pulled from the bucket, some that did okay and they were entertaining. He had some that just did so god awful that it was entertaining, and you had some that did somewhere in between. Then you had regulars, you had a good panel. Like, not many times does a show go together that perfectly, especially when it's that big of a scale. Things tend to go as unplanned, and things typically don't go as smooth as you would think. But I forgot what the point of all that was. But Yeah. I'll tell you what, though. If you want to make it big on YouTube, speaking from a guy with 59 subscribers, I would say probably the biggest thing you could do, start vlogging overseas. Like, I don't think there's a single channel where a guy travels, vlogs his experience in a country, 28-minute videos, 30-minute videos of just filming himself and his experience that doesn't at least get 10,000 views. Because YouTube is really, like, I used to watch, there was a period of time, probably 4, 5, 6 months ago, at nighttime. It would always be on Saturday nights, the nights before I go back to work. I don't know, there would be a relaxing feeling. Typically, I'd be a little buzzed too, I ain't gonna lie to you. There would be a relaxing feeling of just someone recording themselves driving through landmark cities in America. It'd be like someone driving through New York City. 40-minute, just a person driving slowly, street by street, and you're just watching the nightlife of New York City. You're just watching someone go up Beverly Hills during a nice, beautiful sunny day. Someone going around LA. Someone going around Santa Monica. Someone going around Chicago, And there was a relaxing comfort of, when you really identify, I'm literally just watching someone drive through a city. And this is entertainment. No words are being said. It's just a guy with a camera on the dashboard. Clear windshield. The guy definitely cleans his windshield respectively. And this man is just driving through a city just because. For some reason, I wanted to watch it. Because we have an appetite to experience things. And the thing that internet and YouTube has done is it gives us the opportunity to really experience a part of life that is we would have to spend thousands of dollars to go do. Right? Getting a plane ticket, driving around, the time. And it's not the same because you're not feeling the vibe. But at the same time, it's man, to really see that's a real life right there. It's a real life. And that's what people that live there see every single day. But yeah, it was interesting, I think I'm a man that, as I cross my legs, I don't know how guys do this. It just shows that my hip mobility is a little iffy. This whole crossing your legs as you're sitting, I feel like it would be really attractive if you're meeting a girl for the first time and you're relaxed and you're doing your arm right now I'm doing. If I was in a group presentation and I was convincing people to do a timeshare, I would be sitting down barefoot in a chair in a open space in a public place, speaking relatively loudly about why you should invest in this resort, why you should invest in this 6-month resort and rent it out to people. I don't think anyone knows what a real timeshare is, but you go to these things, you get free water park tickets, and that's the thing is is it really worth spending 3 hours here to get $50 worth of water park tickets? It's yeah, just wake up early, get free breakfast, you go there, you got to pretend that you're going to go, you got to pretend you're interested, so they let you in, so they're speaking, you're yeah, I'll get back to you. It's always I'll get back to you. You're never going to get back to them. It's always, it's always nice to be told, these credit karmas, God, I just completely go everywhere. These credit karmas, these credit websites love to tell you, hey, your score has gone up. It's I literally haven't done anything, but okay, that's great. Hey, Clint, you've come a long way. It's hey, you have 100% on-time payment. It's yeah. Because if I don't, you guys are going to be fucking up my life. So, yes, I will pay it on time even if I don't really want to. Because I do not want the karma. It's almost like the hallucination in the name, credit karma. It's like, hey, pay your credit. Our karma is going to bite you in the ass. But we'll put this magical triple-digit score up to make you feel competent in society. That's really what it is. And then even when you use it, like, hey, my credit karma says I got a 740, and then you go to apply for some, they're like, well, actually, that's not your real, that's just an estimate. We actually did the real numbers. It's actually only a 6-7. Like, oh, well, fuck you. What's the point of a fucking number? It would be like you go in your bank account and be like, hey, it says I got, $4,000 in there. And then you go to the bank, it's like, well, actually, you got 3182. That's just a estimate based off your average weekly earnings and all this shit. It's like, all right, well, fuck you. Then don't say that's how much is in my fucking account. It's not that hard to say. Yeah. God, my toes are crusty. Oh, well, I'd rather have crusty toes than crusty crabs. But baby, I'll give you the secret formula, all right? But yeah, TMI, as they say, too much intelligence. Said nobody. But you know what? I'm just a relaxed man, If I think the weird thing, I'll have an honest moment with you guys. I had this evaluation myself, like this past week, I really feel like a therapist talking to myself. I really feel that is self-important. I feel like I talk this way, like in this therapist way, like this role, because it's almost like the saying, be the person for yourself that you would want people to be, the person for others that you would want people to be for you, right? So it's like, maybe it's like I'm talking and forecasting this way because this is what I want to return. I want someone to listen to me, And shit, I forgot what I was talking about. God damn it. Oh shit. Oh, yeah. Oh fuck. Shit. Oh rats. It's like I remember what I was talking about. And I know the subject, but I'm trying to remember the exact thing I was trying to get to. Oh, Jesus. Oh, give me a second. Promise, wait for me. Now, because I'm trying so hard to think about it, I can't think about it. Now I can't think about what I think about, and I can't think what you think. You think? Oh. Something like evaluation of myself. Shit. God damn it. I don't know. That's the thing. I evaluate myself all the time. So it could literally be 8 different things I could be talking about. But yeah. Whew, I gotta pee. But don't worry, I only got 5 more minutes. Oh. Yeah, so one thing I realized about myself is having a real moment with y'all is that I truly realize shit, I actually don't know. So you know what? I started repeating the process thinking, maybe I'll catch a rhythm. Like, nope, fuck me. But yeah, you know what? Just talk about something else. Talk about something else less important. Because you know what? I was actually going to drop some what the fuck I'm feeling. Get in my feels for a second. But you know what? I guess Jesus is like, hey man, you ain't got time for what you feel. You know what? You're on a time limit, Life's unpredictable. I love me some kitty litter, because when I shit, because wherever I shit, I know someone will cover it up. Oh, bitter batter, titter tatter, sit sadder on this cock platter, cod platter, fish, and her fish platter can sit on my cock-nitive function. Is that you know what? When a guy's thinking with their dick, as they say, we should call it our cock-nitive function. Huh? See how clever I am? Not really. It's pretty unimpressive. I've had way better analogies and sayings. But yeah, so next time, we talk about cognitive function being sharp, Now, if you're Johnson & Johnson gets hard, put some baby powder on the gooch and you'll be just fine. But then when she's like, you know what? You're always just thinking with your dick. It's like, no, I'm thinking with my cognitive function, baby. People, I know I re-emphasize this like 4 times an episode. I hope y'all know I don't really talk like this to people. I don't really name like, oh, but what about my cognitive function? There it is. That's what it is. Not cognitive function. What I realized about myself is that I really have a God damn it. I can't think of what the fuck I was saying. That is the most aggravating thing, man. When you really have something you want to say and you can't think about, and I can't blame anyone. It's silent. I'm in my own world. Nothing is interrupting me. I am fully focused, But I just can't seem to rise to the occasion because I'm drinking Rise energy drink, Sunny D. Yeah. I think the only thing I can think about that maybe I was talking about is I think maybe what I was trying to get to is there it is. There, I found it. What I realized about myself 6 minutes later after realizing what I found about myself is that I am really night and day in where I am comfortable operating. I am comfortable operating in this setting. If someone were to listen to this podcast, they would probably think in real life I can get in front of 10 to 15 people, talk, and seem tangible. Seem he can flow. If he could talk by himself, he could talk with anyone. It's quite the opposite. If there was 3 people watching me, even people I knew, my whole demeanor, it's not that I'm afraid to say anything in front of people, because I'm not afraid of being judged. It is just interruption of just seeing someone on the phone or seeing someone watching you. It's a weird, it just blocks something. And I realize that I operate so well by myself, talking in this flow. But in a group setting, it's a whole different experience. So don't watch this episode and think oh man, I'm going to bring this guy around my friends. He's going to be this wild around us. It's no, I'm just going to be looking at y'all, processing everything, nodding my head. Probably think that y'all aren't as interesting as you think you are. And that's not me being an asshole, because you're probably thinking the same of me. And I think one worry I may have is that if this show, whenever, it takes off and does its thing in the algorithm, is I feel people would want to think they want to be around me and hang out. And then you might disappoint people in a weird way. If people expect you to be like this all the time, they might get around you and be oh, he's really not all over the place like this. Oh, he's not really an asshole about everything. He doesn't complain that much. He's pretty normal to talk to. He's pretty down to earth, He's pretty, he'll help you out. He'll just normally talk to you, give you his thoughts, but listen, you know? Man, he doesn't try to have all the answers, you know? And that could be disappointing to people. It's like, if you, not how to be anyone's hero, but it's like, they always say don't meet your heroes because they might disappoint you. You may catch them on a bad day. They may not be as nice to individuals as they are in public, you know? I think that's just my whole goal is throughout all this is through the success and all that is to not, you're going to change with it, right? I know people don't, it's unpopular. You're going to change with more success. Your life's going to change. You're going to live somewhere else. You got more responsibility. Life can change. I think you should change with those circumstances. I think it should just be your purpose of why you do it shouldn't change. That's where you can run into. Like, I don't think I would be more full of myself. I would still treat people the same. I would still be the same in most ways. I would be a little bit more protective of myself, though. I wouldn't be I don't do it anyways, but I wouldn't be trying to be friends with anyone I'm not comfortable with. I wouldn't be inviting people over to my house I don't know. I don't do that anyways, but especially then, like, you gotta be apprehensive to everything. You gotta be skeptical even more because you have more to lose. I think that's the thing. People think like, oh, they changed. It's like, with money you change. It's like, yeah. When people start treating you different or viewing you in a different light, it's not that you think a self better about yourself. It's quite the opposite. You probably still think you haven't elevated how great people view you or how much you impact their lives. But you're being held to that standard, so you feel like you got to change to meet that standard. And I think that would be one of like my back of my head fears, which not too big of a fear because it's a good thing to have, that people view you better than you are, you know? It's like, man, you know, you made an impact to make people feel good, to escape, to entertain people. And like they view you in such a light that they expect from you. Like in this world, we complain about not being seen. But really what we're saying is we don't like that no one expects anything from us. That no one thinks we can do anything. That no one thinks we're capable. So when you do something that makes people feel like you are, and now you become reliant, then that's a responsibility. It's like with great reward comes great responsibility. That's really what that means. So I don't know, you know, that's just my roundabout way of saying, like, you know, make me famous, bitch, as Kanye would say. You know, people didn't notice, you know, Travis Kelce's style has changed ever since he got with Taylor Swift, you know. He's gotten, his hair's a lot more. He's a lot more, his personality is a little bit different, you know. People are like, oh, Travis Kelce has changed. Ever since he's been with Taylor Swift, it's like, yes. And if you were with Taylor Swift, you would never be the same. So, yeah. But, you know, like you and me, we belong together, baby. Be part of the community. And that was episode 299, the Offbeat Podcast with Clint Nelson. I'm your host, Clint Nelson. One away from 300. What are we going to do for episode 300? Don't forget to like, follow, comment, subscribe, and notification bell. Most important, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to suck some titties. And yeah. Next episode will be 300. That is fucking insane, bro. But yeah, have a great day, morning, night, evening. I would say I love y'all, but I don't know any of y'all. And I don't say I love you to anybody. I'm not that cool with it. But I'm cool with you if you're cool with these titties. All right. Have a great day.
Meep, meep.